This is one photograph, before and after. No filter, no one-tap look, nothing here came out of a preset. Every part of this color was built by hand, on an iPhone, in about 3 minutes. This is FARGLO. FARGLO is a layer-based color grading app for iPhone. Most photo apps hand you one slider that quietly does 5 things at once. Move it, and you have no idea which part of the picture changed. FARGLO does the opposite. You stack small, honest tools, and each layer does a single job. Light, color, film response, detail, finishing. You choose which tools you need, and the order they run in. And nothing is ever baked in. The original file stays exactly as it was. Most photographs start by getting the light wrong. The sensor sees a number, your eye sees a scene. Those are not the same picture. Plein Air reads the light in the scene and rebuilds it the way your eye actually saw it. Adaptive white balance lifts the color cast, without draining the warmth that made you take the picture in the first place. One layer, usually, it is the only correction the photo needs. Then primary, these are the same controls a cinema color suite gives you. Lift for the shadows, gamma for the midtones, gain for the highlights, offset for all of it at once. Drag the wheel, and the shadows take on a color, not a tint over the whole frame, just the shadows. Nudge the gain, and the highlights follow the light instead of fighting it. Every wheel has its own red, green and blue underneath, if you want to be exact about it. And this is the layer FARGLO was really built for. Atelier mix. 12 pigments. Solstice, velvet, saffron, noon, veil, thicket, juniper, mistral, alabaster, nocturne, bloom, and ether. They are not filters, and they are not presets. They behave like paint. You don't pick a look here, you mix one. Tap a pigment, and give it a weight. Thicket, at 47%, and the greens deepen. Every pigment also carries a balance. Push it down into the shadows, or hold it up in the highlights. So the same green can cool the shade, while the skin stays exactly where you left it. That is the part a one-tap filter can never give you. Add another pigment, and another. What you end up with is not a filter you borrowed. It is a recipe, yours, and repeatable on the next photo. Density is film-like color density, computed in OKLab. Subtractive saturation deepens color the way ink and emulsion do, by absorbing light, rather than by shouting. Skin protection keeps faces out of it, and every color range carries its own saturation, so you can push the blues without touching anyone's face. Memory color then pulls skin, sky and foliage toward the colors people actually remember, rather than the ones the sensor happened to record. Grass a little greener, sky a little deeper, the way you remember standing there. Film leaves fingerprints, and FARGLO gives you the good ones. Halation is the warm bleed film makes around a bright highlight. Here, you choose its color. Warm it for late afternoon, cool it for window light, then set how far into the highlights it is allowed to reach. Then grain, 8mm, 16, 35, or 65. And this is not noise laid over the picture. The response follows density, so the grain peaks in the midtones and rolls off in the highlights, exactly the way real emulsion behaves. Sharpen and chromatic aberration finish the lens character. New in version 1.05, the library. Because every photo carries its own stack, FARGLO can show you the 6 representative colors of the finished develop, shadow through highlight, beside every frame. It is not a list of photographs, it is a list of develops. You stop hunting for a shot by what is in it, and start finding it by the color it became. Sort the whole roll by hue, and the library turns into a gradient. And the one frame that drifted away from the rest is suddenly, obviously, there. Photos that share a recipe group themselves, automatically. And any selection exports as a color sheet, ready to post. That was one photograph, and one path through the app. There is a lot more in the stack. Negative converts a color negative scan by removing the film base and normalizing density. Curves gives you master and per channel control. HDR wheels recovers a backlit frame by range. Any adjustment can be held inside a linear or radial mask, so it only touches the sky, or only the subject. And vignette and frame finish the picture, with borders that are added, never cropped in. When the stack is finished, export as JPEG, HEIC, or 16-bit TIFF. Or export the entire grade as a .cube lot, and carry it over to your desktop. Toggle any layer, and see exactly what it earned. Full screen compare, with the handle you drag straight across the frame. And nothing is ever flattened. Come back to it a week later, and every layer is still live, still adjustable. FARGLO, color, built-in layers. On the App Store now, for iPhone.